Hello, lads and ladies. He's here. I've shocked him. He didn't know I was going to do that. We've got the big boy in here tonight. And again, big game. Jake, you need to unmute yourself, mate. This is how it works. The best part of the show's over. Welcome back to the show, guys. We are, again, back with another League One live stream. Big weekend of action this weekend. The second week in the game week, and this is normally the time that we start to see teams pick the rhythm up because they've had a week in between game weeks. Obviously, we've got the cup competition this week, the EFL Cup, which we're not really going to touch because there's loads of ties and anything can happen in that. And then we go into another League One game, and then we go Saturday, Tuesday, and then there's a lot of Saturday, Tuesdays because you've got to remember we have the Papa John's Trophy, we have the FA Cup coming in a little bit sooner this time. We've got EFL Cup every 2 or 3 weeks if your team go on a good run. Obviously, for me and him, we won't know about winning 2 games in a row at this moment in time, but it could happen. Jake, you were down in Portsmouth this weekend, which we will touch on later on. How was your weekend, mate?
Oh, mate, I bought the new away kit. Nappers, thoughts? Nice, isn't it? It's beautiful.
But at the time, you might be wearing a Fleetwood Town top.
I had a great weekend in Pompey, mate, to be honest. Took a long way to get down there. I was just telling you before we come on. The boys
Tell the viewers your story, because you normally don't look, with it, but on Tom's vlog, you looked a little bit...
Yeah. Go and watch Tom Fauna all over its video. I look a little bit garbage compared to Jack, mate, in the comments. The lads who I went with on Saturday made me finish a whole crate of Copperberg, some Doom Bar beers in a can, which were rank, and also they brought the shots out all the way. This is all before we got to Oxford, so I was absolutely steaming. Rolled up to Tom's video, absolutely off me rocker. I mean, I had a great weekend. We'll talk about the game at length, no doubt, in a bit. But lovely weekend. Every time I go to Portsmouth, Ben, it's always sunny. The weather's beautiful. The crowd at Pompey are fantastic. They had a nice fan zone on. Good pub, a good companion. Had some good food in there before we went into the ground. Expensive ticket-wise, which we touched on. I think it was last week we spoke about ticket prices. My God, it was dear, but great day out. If it's an away day you've not done, get yourself down to Fratton Park because at the moment, it's absolutely booming and it's one that you need to tick off.
Yeah, it does seem like the start of the year is starting, and Gavin's just coming in and says, what difference do you think Owen Dale and Tom Lowry will make? Now, Tom Lowry's a secret gem at this level. Obviously, struggled last year, but he is a top player, and there has been championship interest of him over the years, and you picked him up, and you've needed a midfielder like him who can get on the ball and play passes and play through the lines. And Owen Dale is a very good player. He was in and out the side at Blackpool last year. But again, you've seen what he can do for Crewe. And obviously, Owen Dale and Tom Lowry know each other as well. So that link-up could come in as well. So you're assembling a good side as well. You leave your comments down, your chat down below, guys, as well. And keep the questions booming. But should we get on with the stream, shall we say, and have a look at the weekend's fixtures? Now, we are going to put on a little graphic that we made earlier of all the games. We have got the top 6. I have had to include Ipswich because I know there's a lot of Ipswich fans that might tune into after their win over Forest Green. They're on the same goal difference as the top 6. So I've had to put them in. And we've also got the bottom 4 in. Burton fans look away now. But a big weekend. We'll start off in Barnsley. And Michael Duff said before the game that he probably knew every fan that was in the Cheltenham Town away end. And the first game, and it was Luke Thomas who scored the winner, a good strike from distance after a difficult few years for the lad. Cheltenham looked like they probably were lucky to get off at 1. Alfie May nearly scored as well, but Barnsley up and running, 1-0 win, first clean sheet of the season. And, a couple of years ago, they got out of League One based off that home form, not losing at home. How big was that?
Massive. Any first win under a manager, Nappers, is massive. And it will be sweet for Michael Duff, bittersweet, no doubt, the fact that he had to beat Cheltenham. But you've got to get your first win somewhere, haven't you? And to be fair, the goal from Luke Thomas, he had a really good loan spell out with Bristol Rovers and Joey Barton last season in League Two. I think Charlie and the Bristol Rovers boys probably wanted him to go back. But showing that he's a really good player at the level above. And the goal was fantastic. Well, at left foot, curve, top corner. Cheltenham, you're starting to get a bit worried now. They've lost 2 on the row, in a row. But I think there's still encouraging signs for Cheltenham. Alfie May's done really well. Down on Lunderloo seems to be getting positive reports from his sort of cameo appearances. So, no, good result for Barnsley. Needed to get off the mark at home, and for Cheltenham, the first win will come. You've just got to. You've had 2 tough games in Posh and Barnsley, 2 teams that have just come down from the level above. So difficult one for those, but I'm sure they'll kick on Saturday. Yeah,
huge win. And now Bolton, for me, 3-0 win. And the good thing is you got 3 goals coming from midfield. Morley with 1 and Dempsey with 2. Now, Dempsey hasn't scored since October last year when he scored for Gillingham against Bolton. He was with 2 goals. And I always say, reference a lot in my vlogs and a lot when I talk about football, that I want midfielders from midfield to look forward, to run forward and make forward passes. If you can do that in League One, you'll go and get 10 goals a season for me. Now, I referenced it when Scott McTominay did it against Leeds about 18 months ago, and he scored twice in about 3 or 4 minutes. And you just power through that midfield, and you made the runs through the Wickham back line. They're a pain to keep up with, and 2 really good finishes by Kyle. I saw it at Fleetwood. He has got the quality to do that. And Aaron Morley as well. Wickham, I still think are 4 or 5 players short. I really do. Obviously, the goalkeeper situation needs to be addressed. I think they need another defender. They need another midfielder. I think Lewis Wing probably went the closest for them. And they probably need another attacking player as well if they want to compete. Now, Wickham have been overachieving for many, many years. This is a decent side, but you've got to have a look what the other side have done. Ipswich have added Freddie Ladapo, they've added Marcus Harness. Derby County have got a really experienced side that shouldn't be at this level. Charlton have gone on and improved. Bolton have improved. Oxford have kept Brannigan, their best player at the football club, and are adding players as we stand as well. So when you see that, and you've got Peterborough scoring also fun, I think Wickham needs to act as soon as possible for me. But brilliant result.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. Bolton played really well. Carl Dempsey, obviously. Thank you, Tom. Love you. Massive result for Bolton, wasn't it? 2 really good finishes like Dempsey. Do you know what? The man that I'm really impressed with is Aaron Morley. Again, coming from Rochdale, in January, had a really good sort of last half of last season, but has come into that Bolton team and completely revolutionised the way they play football. Everything goes through him. He's fantastic. He pinged the ball with his right foot, left foot, scores goals added to his game, which is a massive for him as well. Then you look at Wickham. Now, the issue with Wickham, Ben, and it's always been the same. I've spoken to Brew many times about this. Their recruitment is always done late in the window. Every time. I think Sam Vokes, the year they signed Sam Vokes, it was done a day before the start of the window. So, and the fact that they've got this, what they've got another 3 weeks left of the window. We've still got, they've still got plenty of time. But yes, I am starting to get a bit worried because, like you mentioned, the teams around them, and chuck, for good sake, chucking Pompey into that as well, because they have massively improved on last season. So there are a lot of teams where Wickham want to be that are improving, and to keep pace, if they want to finish where they did last year, they are going to have to bring in some new players, because sometimes when it goes stale, it doesn't quite work, and Wickham will want to get back into the Championship to get a bit more revenue. So, yeah, worried for Wickham. But for Bolton, I mean, my prediction of them going into finishing in the playoffs might start to look a good one in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, exactly. And they are on an era, and they've had a great era, but all eras have to come to an end. And I'm not saying that is happening, but slowly but surely you do lose your squad. Just ask Portsmouth fans, the squad that they've lost, they're just rebuilding again, ready for the next 3 or 4 year burst. This time they have to get out of League One, there's no doubt. But Bolton, the football that they played the other day, it was attacking, it was fast, it was creating chances, and they wouldn't let Wickham breathe. Normally Wickham can handle any team in League One. They couldn't handle this Bolton side, and that's what I really like about it. Burton, mate, just talk to me about Burton Albion, who coincidentally are helping Coventry City out. Coventry City, I don't know if you've seen the pictures, horrendous at the moment. They've had loads of rugby games. Obviously, they share with the Wasps, don't they? And they're now sharing with Burton. Again, an extra game on that pitch. It already looks like it's cutting up after match day 1. That won't help Burton out. going on in the season, but a 4-0 defeat and a sending off in the first 2 or 3 minutes the other day, and fans uproar, 3 wins in 20, including last year. It's not a great start.
Do you know what, Ben? I did see a tweet based on the Coventry situation. I think someone said, I think Coventry fans are going to do all 92 teams this season based on home games because they won't be able to play the games at the Rico, which was quite funny. Yeah, Burton worried. What did we say? I think, Ben, it was actually me that called it, wasn't it? When last year, season goes on 5 games longer, Burton are down. And they've started off the same way, haven't they? 3-0 to Wickham. Didn't really look like they mustered anything. And then Saturday, even worse, if it could have been worse, at home in front of your home fans. You talk about things going stale with Ainsworth, perhaps. Jimmy Floyd, they're at the point where the bread is a couple of days out of date and it's got some mould growing on it. Do you know what I mean? 4-0 down at half time. Yes, you've got to praise Bristol Rovers. They did well. Aaron Collins coming and taking to the level like a duck to water. Really impressed with Bristol Rovers. But then, the thing is, Bristol Rovers will be all right. Burton Albion might not be. You worry that they're definitely one of the teams that are going to be down there. And at the minute, just with the whole way of the football club and Coventry coming and playing at the Pirelli is not going to help them one bit because they like to play football a nice, attractive way. Worried for Burton. Red flags are going off in the back of my head about Burton, Ben.
Yeah, agree. For me, I look at them and they've got no quality up front. You can see too many goals. You can see too many chances. You can see fans leaving after half time. They want Jimmy out. Jimmy wants to go. You can clearly see that. But he's using Burton so he gets a wage and he's still in the football game and he can platform on that. And it's like every opportunity that they've had, he's been rejected. He's literally like the Tash and Andrew situation in Love Island. And you know what I mean? It's not that I watched it. Anyway, it just seemed like to concede 4, but I don't want this to be on Burton. I want to give credit to Bristol Rovers who, fair play to him, Joey Bolton side knocking it long, when he's complained about that many times over the years. It is effective for them and they've got big men. And I think the 4th goal, John Marcus drops into his own half, plays the pass down the side, cuts inside, and there's a goal. And that's what John Marcus can do, Portsmouth fans. If you give him the right service and you give him, the right freedom to do what he wants to do. And it is a brilliant win for them now. And they are a good side. They are going to be okay this year. I think it's going to be a frustrating season where they win 1, draw 1, lose 1. But 4-0, 4 goals away from home, a clean sheet. That'll do them the world of good after a poor weekend last week.
Yeah, right. We're moving on, Ben, aren't we? Because that's my job. Charlton, 1-0 winners over Derby County. Now, I work with a lad who's a Derby County fan. Bowles, we call him. He went down to the Valley on Saturday. Really, really excited, thinking it's a new era for Derby, and he's come back with a bit of a slap mark around his face. He tells me, I've not seen the game fully back. Derby looked to rip Charlton apart in the first half a little bit. Really, really impressive. Collins doing really well. Hourahan dropping in. Jason Knight had a really good opportunity. But as soon as the referee blew that whistle, it completely changed for them. And Charlton were able to get a foothold in the game. And is it Corey Blackett-Taylor, the lad who scored the goal? You're looking at the goal, and for me, you're thinking, what on earth's Joe Wildsmith doing? He's parried it into the most ridiculous of areas. As a goalkeeper, you put it out of play or as far away from your goal as possible. He's almost dropped it back, on the goal line, isn't he? And he'll never score an easier goal. So, good win for Charlton. Again, like we said about Duff and Barnsley, important for Ben Garner to get on, up and running at home again for Charlton because the Valley can be a real fortress. And for Derby, maybe gives you a bit of an indication as to what League One's going to be like. You might have a really good set of players. You might be some really good fans. They're sold out. I think took 3,000 down there. But League One's difficult. And Charlton, who came mid-table last year, can beat these teams who have come down from the Championship. So really fascinating game, Ben. Really, really, really looked like a good game and a good tactical battle as well, I think.
Absolutely. Simon, thank you so much for the donation, mate. Good to see you in here as ever. Hopefully see you soon. Thanks again, mate. Yeah, agree there. It is a good win and they get over 20,000 fans at home. And I think some fans sleep on that. You know, Ipswich do it every week. You know, Portsmouth get your 17, your 18,000 in as well. But that's a really great win for them. 1-0 at home. It is a poor goal to see from a Derby point of view, but it's a great clean sheet and it's a great win. They're up and running. The 4 points. We said last week, how did they bounce back from the Accrington game? Obviously, I think they've got Sheffield Wednesday up next, which is going to be a really tough game for them. But again, it's the first win under the new gaffer as well. At home, big weight lifted, first clean sheet. It's just getting that first away win now. Then they've ticked all the boxes. And no, I'm impressed with them. I really am. I think that they've done really well there to get the points on the board. And I think that could be the start of something special at the Valley, because the Valley is a tough place to go. I'd put it in the categories of Ipswich, your Portsmouths, your Boltons, those that are going to accumulate a lot of points at home for me this season. And, you know, could they challenge for the top 6? Yes. But I think so could 10 or 11 other teams, Jake. And we talk about teams at the top. Exeter, Port Vale was two sides that you're going to think coming up. Now, Port Vale last year, they won at Exeter by a goal to 0, and that was stopped Exeter winning the league, and it also confirmed Port Vale in the playoffs, also having that home side last as well, which is a huge win in both aspects. And they just didn't get going, did they, at all? Obviously, Exeter pumped a lot of money into the women's team lately, and obviously the women's team won the women's Euros and did really well. And, you know, it's really good to see that a different side to football and, you know, women coming into football, because we've seen her game too, how good that has been since that was launched by Kaz and the girls. And Exeter did really well on the pitch as well. They won by 4 goals to 0. Sam Nomble got a goal. The other striker got 2 goals as well. So when you've got your goal scorers on the goal sheet early on in the season, you're up and running at home, you've got a clean sheet, and you've got 4 points now after 2 games. All of a sudden, what do we say every week, Jake? 2 points a game guarantees promotion. After 2 games, you've got 4 points. Just another 44 to go.
Yeah, Exeter going to win the league, Ben, by your reckoning then. No, I came on here, Ben, and told you how impressed I was with Exeter, didn't I, when we played them last week. Really, really well-organised side who can press really high and really hard as well. And you've got the likes of Giovanni Brown in the team now.
Very quick.
And you've got the likes of Sam Nombe, who are going to cause problems for teams at this level. I saw firsthand how good they were last week. And this was a bit of revenge, wasn't it, for that game that prevented Exeter from winning the League 2 title last year. I don't think Port Vale were on it at all. But then you've got to give credit to Exeter, because, you know, the first goal from Kite, wow, stunner, want it, and then Exeter sort of ran away with it. And they're a side that can do that, which is why you should never really doubt these teams coming up from League 2, because, you know, to get out of League 2, they've done pretty well. They've got to be a fair side. And they've brought in a couple of players, haven't they, Exeter, since we last filmed. I think Jamal Blackman's come into the building, a lad from Southampton as well. Really impressive Exeter. I think they'll be absolutely fine, given on what I've seen of them. Right, Ben, you're going to talk to me now about Fleetwood Town, aren't you? Because at this moment in time, I will be donning the red and white of Fleetwood Town. We are 2 games in, fortunately enough. We've got 44 games to catch you up, so you enjoy being ahead while it lasts. 2-1 win though for Plymouth Argyle. Unexpected, Ben, from an outsider's point of view. Late goal again. You guys seem to do late goals for fun up at Highbury, don't you? So talk to me about this, because when you went 1-0 down, I looked at my phone and thought, oh, Fleetwood again. But you've got history of coming back against Plymouth. You did it last year as well. Yeah,
absolutely. 3-1 down last year. We do 3-3. Pilkington and Harrison scoring late on, and if we didn't do that, we won't be talking about Fleetwood Plymouth this year in League 1, because Plymouth could be in the Championship, they'd get playoffs, and we'd be in League 2. So that's how mad football can change at times. But no, I thought we started off the game, I thought we got poor and we were sloppy. And Ballymumbar, you know, wins the penalty. And for me, he is one of the best players in League 1 so far. What I've seen, he is an absolute gem. So quick, so powerful. And then you're going to give Ryan Hardy an opportunity to score from 12 yards. He's going to take them, you know, 9 times out of 10, possibly 99 times out of 100, really. I really like him, and I think he can score 20 goals this season. And that is a good start for him. And then after that, they just didn't grow into the game. I thought Fleetwood got the goal through Dan Batty again, which is weird because he scored 1 in his first 46 games for Fleetwood in the league. He's now scored 3 in his last 8. Or if you include friendlies as well, he scored 4 in 4, which is a really good record that from the midfield. He's in a new role, trying to advance through the lines as well. And then after that, I thought it was an up and down game. I didn't think there was many chances. I thought both sides were poor, if I'm honest with you. I'm hearing Fleetwood fans saying, "No, we were good. We deserved to win." That wasn't a good performance. It was scrappy. We did the basics right, which we didn't do last year. Josh Earl was a Rolls Royce. For me, I'd put that in the best debut I've seen at Fleetwood for a long, long while. Rooney, class as ever. And then, you bring Kean Hayes and Joe Garner on. You bring your best striker and your best winger on with 15 minutes to go. And shock, you're brought into life. And, it's a good effort by Kean, who's, for me, the most improved player at the club. And Joe Garner finishes it off. And it's a great win, 2-1 at home. It's a very good team in Plymouth. And, in the top 10. And for me, end the season now. And end the season now.
Ben, I'm just going to pick you up on that. Kean Hayes is your best winger. Has Paddy Lane gone?
Paddy Lane has been... Right, I'll talk about Paddy Lane. Paddy Lane is good at a lot of different things. But with 15 minutes to go, running at a defence, Kean Hayes has more speed, can take players on, and will put balls into the box. Paddy's more that will drop deep for you and do the hard work. And, he will create chances overall. But Paddy Lane got Supporters Player of the Year last year, right? And I was annoyed at this. Most of us didn't even vote. It was voted by 5 or 6 people. And they just thought Paddy Lane, I wouldn't have said Paddy Lane last year. I would have said Kean Hayes last year. Because for me, I think since Paddy's come onto the scene, I think he's been poor for his standards. I don't know if I just expect too much of him now, but there's a level with Paddy where Kean has just gone like that overnight for me.
Brave.
Unlike Lincoln, mate, you can't have more than one good winger. I'm just putting that out there.
Right, okay. We'll see. Forest Green then. First home game in League One, whatever. First competitive meeting between Forest Green Rovers and Ipswich Town. Ipswich sort of, they jumped ahead early. They got 2 goals, Marcus Harness and Sam Morsey. Wow, Sam Morsey, what a goal. But in fairness to Forest Green, they didn't roll over, did they? Second half, played really well, got back into the game and had a goal disallowed as well for offside, which I've not seen back, but looked pretty controversial from a Forest Green point of view. Perhaps the Ipswich fans can give us some light on whether he was offside or not. Positives for Forest Green, but positives for Ipswich because that's 4 points from 2 games and a really hard place to go in terms of, a new teams coming up into the league are really hard to beat at home. They tend to be, don't they? What a performance and what a result for Ipswich Town, Ben.
Yeah, tight pitch as well. You've got to remember that. And the good news is I thought Freddie Ladapo the other day, from what I've seen, was outstanding to a man. You've got Marcus Arnold scoring an absolute brilliant goal as well. He's up and running, confidence booming. You've got Sam Morsey scoring an unbelievable goal. For me, one of the goal of the season contenders already. I know we said that last week about the Forest Green Rovers Bristol Rovers game. We saw Salinas last year that didn't get nominated. Really didn't get mentioned, which was a really good finish on the day. You're right there, son.
I'm dying.
Forest Green battled hard and, they were unlucky not to get more, but Ipswich dug in. And maybe in the last few years, I think Ipswich maybe draw that or roll over. And if Forest Green get the second, they could possibly go on and lose it. But that mentality there was there a bit. And good for them, they didn't give in. And for me, great win for them. 2-1 away from home is a great win. And they struggled against promoted sides in the past. Early on last year, they played Morecambe and Cheltenham. And, drew 1, lost 1. And just didn't seem to get going. Obviously, they lost away at Bolton last year, lost at home to Bolton last year. I think they only drew at Morecambe, didn't they, away from home last year? So they didn't do great away from home last year against any of the promoted sides. That's different. Already, they're better off than they were last year. And I think that's what they've got to compare to because, you've got to remember, yes, they were about, what were they, 12 points off in the end, something like that. They probably need to make 5 points on that, and they'll get into the top 6. So if you can do that over 46 games, the quality that they've got, Jake, they should do that. We will move on. MK Dons, Sheffield Wednesday. For me, both sides are really good, and they have got quality. I do think Sheffield Wednesday, for me, are slightly better. Now, they went to MK Dons and caused havoc. I thought they were really, really good in what they did. And they were without Lee Gregory and Michael Smith. But, Windass scores the goal. Obviously, good play at this level. And for me, you talk about the League One. For me, there's always a reason why they're in League One. You could say Barry Bannon, there's a reason why he's in League One, because it's not worked out with Sheffield Wednesday as a club overall. That's why he's in League One. Josh Windass he's never fit. He cannot stay fit for a 46-game season. He is so much better than League One. He proved it bits last year when he came back. If he can just stay fit, he will score 15 goals at this level. I know it was only a penalty, but one thing I will say, MK Dons, you must hate David Stockdale. He turned in like FIFA 17 Jack Butland on you. In the playoffs, he was man of the match. He kept everything out. And then on Saturday, he made 3 or 4 ridiculous saves. And there was a bit of hate, wasn't there, by Wednesday fans? Why are we signing a Wickham goalkeeper who all he does is waste time, and he's, overweight, he's this, he's that, he's past it. But boy, did he save him the other day. And for me, goalkeeper was an area that they needed to improve on. Losing, obviously, the goal, he went back, and they've done that for me. Great win.
Yeah, I'm sort of teetering on the edge of whether I wind the Wednesday fans up and say, was it actually a penalty? Because it looked...
Should I mute him for you, Wednesday fans? Should I mute him?
Look, I mean, it probably was, but it's one of those, isn't it, that's right on the line. It can probably go either way. You wouldn't be so surprised if he's given a free kick or if he's going to give a penalty. Obviously, once he gives a penalty, Windass does well to stick it away. And then from then on in, it was, like you say, the David Stockdale show, wasn't it? It was only a couple of months ago that he was there at Stadium MK and was guiding Wickham to a playoff final. And again, he's come in and made some massive saves. I mean, I think there was one down to his right-hand side. He made a double save as well, didn't he? Really impressed with him. And I think these Wednesday fans, when they sign these players like Stockdale, like Hennigan, yes, they're League One players, but they need to understand that when you drop into League One, that's the sort of play you need to get out of it. You can't just sign players that are far too good for the level, because recruiting for the Championship and recruiting for League One are completely different. Because the Championship, you get more time on the ball. You're expecting more flair players to thrive in that sort of level. Whereas at League One, it's a bit more of a battle. You need to sign players that are up for battle. And David Stockdale, Ben Hennigan, and these sorts of players, Ahikwe is another one, and Michael Smith also, they're up for a battle. They're up for a scrap. And if they need to scrap to win, they will. So I think Wednesday fans probably need to give these players a bit more time. And Stockdale has already started to repay the faith. This is the most cringe thing I think I've ever said on a live then, but I saw a TikTok earlier of a Wednesday fan making a TikTok about Ben Hennigan. 6 months ago, who would have thought that would ever happen? So, look, you need to really, really be happy with the fact that you're recruiting good League One players, because these players, once they have a good year, once they get promoted, if they get promoted, step into the Championship on a whole nother level. The Championship for them will be an absolute breeze. So, yeah, I mean, I don't want to talk about them much longer, Ben, because if I keep praising them, I shall keep getting mentions on Twitter.
I will mention something. I do agree. And I just think those type of players can guide the other players through. The Barry Bannons, the Volks, the Smiths, the Gregorys, they have got an experience there. They've got a couple of young players there as well, but they can guide themselves through games. And when you go away at Accrington Stanley on a Tuesday night, or you talk about Stoke, but you've got to go to Forest Green, Accrington Stanley, Fleetwood. These are open stadiums, by the way. These aren't your nice, compacted stadiums. The weather in League One has more of an impact than the Championship. I know that's a stupid excuse. I'm getting the book out of Jurgen Klopp excuses here, aren't I? But it can really, really play a part, and you see that. We have got a £49 donation. Thank you very much, mate. Top line, up the yellows. Indeed, But yeah, a great win. You talk about cringe on TikTok. Could be worse. You could make a TikTok about your favourite goalkeeper who's made over 200 appearances for the club, your all-time EFL appearance maker, about leaving the club, making a couple of good saves to the theme tune, Iris. Could never be me.
Well,
anyway, let's move on. Where should we go next?
We'll go down south then, Oxford United. Now, you told me something I think I probably best said for you. Told me something about the lad that scored the winner for Oxford. I think it was a bit of a tight game. I think Cambridge got slightly bit more battered when they went to Oxford last year. Dimmy Mitov's made a couple of good saves. Looked like it was heading towards a stalemate, 0-0. Up pops. Go on, Ben. You know his name and you know the
Tyler
story.
Goodham. You just can't pronounce it. That's what it is. Tyler Goodham. Yeah, again, obviously, I like watching all the outback and I like watching little interviews as well before we do these shows. And for me, Oxford are a side that they are relentless and they will go to the end under Carl Robinson. Brilliant win. Brilliant win for them, that. At home. And we look back with Oxford, if they could have just done that there, this is where they're missing. And that could be a big moment because they're always a few points short. Well, already they've made up those few points already early in the season. Tyler Goodham, again, his dad watches all his games. He's a young lad and he's done really well into the box. The goal for me was pretty much a carbon copy of Makeda's against Villa when he came on, where he's on the right-hand side, he cuts in, bit scrappy to get past the man, but a good bit of skill, gets onto his right foot and just curls it, smashes it into the keeper's far corner. Keeper, no chance really, and he scores. And his dad's normally at every game, and he got called up to the side late. We mentioned last week that the squad is a bit thin at the moment, and they are adding players. They've added Lewis Batty recently on loan from Leeds. That Leeds under 23 side is proving its worth. Now Charlie Cresswell's just gone on loan to Middlesbrough as well. So there's a lot of quality there, and they picked a good player. Millwall. I knew it was a club in the Championship, beginning with M.
Got the wrong one as well.
We've got to make a mistake. I'm going to kill you after making me do that. So again, his dad watches all his games, and he went to the golf, didn't he? Or the cricket, and missed it. Son comes on, scores the winner, last minute, 1-0, and he won't be doing that in a hurry. But brilliant win for Oxford. Came in, you'd be a bit disappointed, but a win last week. Again, if you win one, lose one, draw one, you'll be more than fine. And a great win. But I want to talk about Peterborough Morecambe. I want to talk to you about Morecambe now. I've just realised I want to talk about Morecambe. Fleetwood play Morecambe on Saturday, which we will get to very soon. I like Morecambe, and I shouldn't like Morecambe, but I respect Morecambe for how they've got into the Football League, how they've got into League One, how they operate as a club. They sold over 2,500 season tickets at 150 quid a pop, which is an ideal football club. But defensively, goalkeeper, they don't look right at all. They don't look switched on. I know they play Peterborough, who are one of the best sides in the division, especially at home for scoring goals, but they look carved open time and time again. Again, balls through the middle of the back four were done too easily. They could have scored 7 or 8 Peterborough that way. They should have had a penalty. And for me, worrying. The goalkeeper should do better with a couple of the goals. I know he made a couple of good saves, which he made look a lot better. Proper camera saves, and I do like Conor Ripley. I loved him at Oldham. Since then, he did okay at Salford, but at Preston, he never really suited. And I'm worried for Morecambe. I really do. I think they're going to be down there this year. I think that they're relying on Cole Stockton a lot, but Peterborough, brilliant as ever. They look great, look good going forward. Without Sammy Smoddox, 3-0 win. They scored 6 in 2. They're going to be a threat this year, aren't they? They're going to score loads of goals. And, 2 games in, 6 points, top of the league. It would be an harsh on Morecambe. Fleetwood next to come. Morecambe 1, Fleetwood 0.
Yeah, well, whilst you sort of speak about Morecambe and the demise of them, I thought Posh were actually really good value for the win. Scoring goals for fun, aren't they? Yes, Sammy Smoddox is going to be a big loss. Obviously, he scored on his debut for Blackburn and a 3-0 away win at Swansea this weekend as well. But the lad they've signed from Leyton Orient looks a player that can completely come in and do the similar sort of job. I think Joby McInnes spoke really highly, didn't he, on the EFL highlights show on ITV on Saturday night about him and how infectious a personality he was. You've got Thompson scoring as well, the lad who did really well for Gillingham. And then, was it Clark Harris? Clark Harris getting the other one. No, Joe Ward, wasn't it? Joe Ward scored as well. A player that I've seen play for Lincoln. So really good, really good. Posh are going to score a lot of goals for fun. I'm scared at the thought of going to London Road in a couple of weeks, Ben, because they might well have an absolute field day and it's a bit of a derby and I don't particularly enjoy it. So, no, Posh, only team to do 100%, 100% so far this year. And, yeah, they're a bit good, aren't they, Peterborough?
Yeah, very good. Again, mate, thank you for all the donations. An absolute star. Just come in with a few there. What do you think about Charlton? I think they'll do all right this year. I think they're going to be in and around the playoffs. I still think they need a couple of players, but they've got the quality, especially at home, like Peterborough do as well. We spoke about Peterborough. Go on, Jay. Portsmouth, Lincoln. We spoke about your matchday experience. I said out to you off air, you look like you played really well. I thought you limited them to chances from outside the box. They very, very rarely, tested the goalkeeper from a suitable range. And you had a couple of chances of your own. And, not many sides will go to Portsmouth and get more than a point. I think they'll win half the home games, if I'm honest with you. And it's a really good point.
Yeah, well, I was speaking to Tom last night on his live show. He said that I think it was in their last 10 home games, they won 8 and drew 2. So pretty hard place to go, Fratton Park at the moment, especially with the buzz that was around it. So, with Colby Bishop signing, with Tommy Lowry coming into the building, and they've just put all the new seats up, like I said earlier. Bit of a buzz at Fratton Park on Saturday. So it would have taken a good team to go there and sort of kill the momentum. I watched Danny Cowley's post-match interview after the game, purely because he didn't come over and clap us very much, which take it one way or another. The first thing he said, Lincoln, miles fitter than last year. This is because we've got a new head of performance and we nicked the head of performance from Rotherham United, Ross Burberry. Headhunted him, done really well, brought some players on, absolute miles. Last Sorensen, Ben, you'll see him in a couple of weeks. Last year looked a little bit iffy at times, looks really lightweight, in and out the team under Michael Appleton, but now looks an absolute cog in this Lincoln City unit. Like you said, defensively really, really impressive. Limited Pompey to not a lot completely. I think Rico Hackett had one opportunity that he blazed over the bar, he probably should have put in. But when they did have shots on target, Carl Rushup was there to hold it. And last year, and this is not to be critical of Josh Griffiths in any way, because Josh Griffiths is an unbelievable goalkeeper. You don't play for England at under 21 level for being a mug. Josh Griffiths perhaps would have parried these into dangerous areas or parried them wide and caused corners that would have gone to big scoring opportunities for the opposition. Carl Rushworth, the ball sticks. Every time the ball comes into him, it sticks. He doesn't let the ball go. And like you said, chances of our own. Adam Jackson had one that probably should have scored from a corner.
You all thought it was in, didn't you? I saw you all go up, and then the Portsmouth fans go, "Wait!"
Yeah.
Is that one of the best things in football? For me, just these little things that, have a bit of that.
And do you know what, Ben? The one thing that I'm taking away from this weekend is, look, Chris Maguire has no future at Lincoln City. It's well aware of that. But to be fair to Chris, instead of down tools and playing with your bottom lip down, which he did at several points last year, and I'm sure he'll admit to that, only showing up in the Sunderland game, really, where he scored a hat-trick. Chris Maguire has come on the last 2 weeks, the last 2 games, and really put himself about. Done really well when he came on Saturday in terms of helping us get up the pitch, kept the ball in the corner, or whether he came in and put some good balls into the box, which is what Chris Maguire can do when he can be bothered. The only issue I have is that he's playing. Is he doing it for Lincoln City, or is he doing it because he wants to put himself in the shop window? Which is probably more likely, isn't it? Knowing his personality, he's likely to be heading off to Scotland. Kudos for that one game that he played really well in, but the rest he won't be a bit of a loss. So, no, summarising, good point. Away at Fratton Park, like you said, not many teams are going to come away with points at Fratton. really good day out, fantastic atmosphere, like you would expect at Pompey. And yeah, good point, deserved the point, frustrated Portsmouth. And do you know what the thing was? I went on a show with Pompey fans with Tom last night. Sorry to drag on nappers. They were saying, "Oh yeah, we didn't do enough. We didn't do enough." That sort of, I'm not gonna call Pompey fans out and say it's completely them. But sometimes in that situation, you have to respect the opposition team because they've come with a game plan and completely stifled you. Yeah. And it happened to us a lot of times last year and the year before. You've just got to accept that the team has come and done a job on you. And I think Pompey fans didn't give us enough credit after that. You know, for example, Fleetwood go to, when they went to Sunderland, you know, Sunderland would have gone, "Oh, we should have battered them," you know, but you've got a point and you did a job on them. And I wasn't a fan of some of the Pompey reactions coming out of the ground saying, "Oh, we should have battered teams like Lincoln." And I don't quite believe this big club mentality. You know, we got a lot of stick last year, didn't we, with Bolton fans? And yeah, it just irritates me because you have to give credit to the opposition. And Lincoln deserved the point. You'd have seen the highlight snappers. I think you probably would agree with me, wouldn't you?
Yeah. For me, as soon as you came on air, I spoke to you. And then you listened to me. I thought we played really well as well. For me, what annoys me is a lot of big clubs in League One think you have to have 70% of possession, 25 shots, 15 on goal, win 5-0 to play well. Well, Lincoln aren't the side that are going to go to Portsmouth and go, right, we're going to play with a back three, our wing backs as wingers, and our front three really wide, explosive, and we're going to go at them at Fratton Park because you'd be an absolute mug. You've got to be disciplined, you've got to get your banks in, you've got to get your midfielders coming back, you've got to get men behind the ball and hope for nick something on the counter-attack. And Lincoln, to a man, were brilliant. The only thing that they didn't do the other day was nick the game 1-0. And if I'm honest with you, if Adam Jackson scores that goal, I don't think Portsmouth, you'd be 20 minutes of a heart attack, all your angina, but the way you were defending, I think you would see that game out for me. We've got 52 people watching. If you could smash a like on this stream, that will be unbelievable. We'll come and do some more questions at the end. We're going to redo every team. So if you have missed your team, stick on. We're going to go through the games on Saturday and have a little mention of a few teams as well. So get your likes in, get your questions in as we'll go and do Shrewsbury versus Accrington, Jake. A weird game because Shrewsbury had Tom Flanagan sent off. First one for a foul, second one's for dissent. There you go, off you go. In the words of the referee, I tell you what, I do love a League One ref. Marco Morosi, though, should be sent off. He's an absolute idiot. Absolute idiot. You know, you can't do that on a football pitch and get away with it. It won't surprise me if he gets a little, maybe, I wouldn't say ban, but maybe a fine for what he did because it is a little bit vicious and he shouldn't be doing it. But Accrington Stanley are without 15-goal season striker Colby Bishop, who you saw the other day. And they didn't miss him, really. You know, Lee with the goal, good header into the corner. And Shrewsbury, I think, all of a sudden, you know, 2 games, 2 winnable games, only got 1 point. Where do we go from here?
Yeah, Shrewsbury are another one that people have backed, haven't they, because of the recruitment and the good recruitment, you know, that they've made over the summer. But even last year, it was just a little bit boring, I think, and they don't look an exciting team still, do they? They look like the epitome of your 19th, 20th, 18th place League One club. And Accrington, well, you know, Tommy Lee, I think we sort of bigged him up towards the back end of last year, didn't we, because of his erratic play style a little bit. And sometimes that's good when he's a bit of the pantomime villain, and he's gone and got the winning goal here for Accrington. Notoriously not known for travelling well, are they, Accrington? So to win your first game on the road, it is really good for them. And yeah, they'll be stronger at home, but 4 points from 2 from Accrington is 46 points is all you got to get, and you should be back in League One again next year.
100%. That's always the aim, but it's not going to be in the top 12 this year. I know John Coleman will have an awful summer, and he'll be thinking, well, we should have done this, and he just sets the high standards. And when you have that at a football club, it's really, really good, and I respect that. Shrewsbury, now I like Steve Cottrell, I really do. What he's been through recently, obviously with the COVID situation, and as a manager, when Ricketts was there, he's turned them around a little bit. And I just wonder, I'll probably get a lot of stick for this, has he taken them as far as he can take them, because this is a talented squad, and as you say, they are the epitome of a 17th, 18th, 19th, 20th side that just stay up in League One. That side should not be down there. That side is a top 12, top 13 squad. And I maybe wonder, maybe at the end of the season, you stay up and you think, look, thank you for everything, Steve, but we're going to move on to a young, hungry model. They've done that with Sam Ricketts. It didn't work. I get that. But I just think they just need a little bit of a freshen up. He will keep you in league. How I compare it is like Roy Hodgson at Palace. Every year he'd keep you up. He wouldn't do it the best of ways. He left. Vieira came in and they were like, oh, I don't like that. He's not done very well elsewhere. I don't think he'll do as well as Roy Hodgson. Well, last year, Palace were one of the best sides. Them and Brighton, bar obviously the bigger teams in the league, to watch. If they were on TV, I'd think, yeah, I want to watch them, because they play with good morals, they play with energy, they buy well as well. And I just see Shrewsbury like that. And I just think maybe at the moment it's okay and he'll keep you up, but what is the goal at Shrewsbury in the next 5 years? Do you want to be like this for the next 5 or 6 years and just fluctuate? I think there'll be an ambition there.
Yeah, and you've got to move with the times, haven't you? Steve Cottrell, as good as a manager is, you need to move. You know, like you're looking at clubs like yourself, you know, like you, like us, that are appointing these exciting coaches with really good, maybe not great managerial experience, but in terms of their coaching career, they've had a really good, thoroughbred, you know, what I mean, for their upbringing. So, you know, I think perhaps if Shrewsbury don't do what they want to do this year, then it's no better time at the start of the season. Bring him in nice and early. Have a look at the squad. Go, right, I know this player from youth football. Let's bring him in. Let's try and get back to where we were in the playoff final a few years ago, because they then appointed Paul Hurst, who at the time was a really exciting coach that had come through. That word that I don't like to repeat, that word that begins with G, and I won't do it. Did really well with them, getting them out of the conference. So, yeah, look, a player that a team that could do with a freshen up, and I think that has to happen in the managerial hot seat, because with Steve Cottrell, they're just never going to progress any further.
You know what you're going to get. I think with Shrewsbury fans, I think he's done well for them. I think you've got to respect that. But for me, I want to see a little bit more from them, because they are a League One football club, in my opinion. They are a mid-table League One football club, but you do occasionally want to have a little bit of excitement. And with that squad, you don't need to put much money in. They could just have a go. We'll talk about Saturday quickly. Bristol Rovers face Oxford. Two good sides there, Jake. Two good sides that you think may challenge in the top area. More likely Oxford. Away from home, they can score goals, but Bristol Rovers, you know, can do things at the men. We've seen that. A good atmosphere created down there.
Yeah,
it's going to be a big game, that.
Yeah, local derby as well, so that adds a bit of intensity, a bit of flair to it as well, which, you know, these local games, anything can happen, can't it? And Bristol Rovers at home, very strong, but Oxford equally pretty good on the road, aren't they? So, tight to call. If I had to pick a winner, Ben, if you're going to force me, I'm probably going to go with a draw, because I think both sides are finding new feet and a lot of new faces into the squad, so they just need to make sure they all gel.
Jake won't be here next week after getting splinters. Acton Burton, again, two sides that, you know, small crowds, respect both football clubs, but I think the difference is going to be winning the managerial appointment there. And John Coleman, top gaffer there, and Burton more misery on the road. And Exeter, you've been really impressed about, Jake, away to Cambridge. Again, Exeter will be looking, no disrespect to yourselves, the first three games, really, because that's what you're always looking, where we're going to win our first game, where we're going to get our points from. You're looking Lincoln away, Port Vale at home, Cambridge away. You're looking, really, if you have them spread out in the season, you think, well, we've got to get 3 points out of all three, or worse, 5 points. If they go and get a point out of that, they've done really well, haven't they? 5 points from the first three games.
Yeah, do you know what, Ben? This reminds me a little bit of the Cambridge United of last year playing the Cambridge United of this year. Yes. In terms that Cambridge are Exeter are the new Cambridge United, aren't they? They're really impressive. Sorry, I'm not phone's running out of battery.
Oh, come on, die.
Exeter really impressed, and I don't think they'll play any different way. Oh, in fact, In fact, you know what?
No, I've gone.
What a show.
Be careful what you wish for.
Exeter win for me, Ben, I think.
Yeah, agree.
Agree.
Yeah, I think the thing is, when you come up to League One, you're always bouncing, aren't you? You know what I mean? We've seen in the Premier League, Leeds go up, the ground's bouncing every week. Forest have gone up, the ground's going to be bouncing every week. So for me, it's a huge, huge opportunity for Exeter because their home ground looks an absolute fortune if they can get it going. Can they do it? Let's see. Cheltenham and Portsmouth, two good sides there. Portsmouth will be hoping for 3 points. They are the better side, but Cheltenham need to get up and running as soon as possible. They haven't looked bad. I know a couple of times the other day, I think Kitchen, the defender from Barnsley, just opened them up like a sack of spuds. Derby Barnsley, though, big game again. Both sides came down last year. How do you see that playing out? Because you've got two big budgets, two good managers, two good squads, experience, the youth, really. Barnsley have got a younger squad now than they did last year.
Yeah, probably going to go for Barnsley on this one, purely because they've got that first win under Duff now, and they'll be in a form. And Derby, I think they want to react to the Charlton defeat on the weekend. But I just fancy Barnsley. I've got them to finish higher than Derby in my league predictions. I just think Barnsley are going to be up there at the end of the year, and Derby might not well be.
It'll be a huge win away from home and a huge statement. And I think Barnsley aren't good enough yet, but a couple of plays. And as that squad gels together, I always say the good sides in League One, you want to play them in the first 6 games because after that, they go on a little runs, don't they? They go on like January, February, March. You saw it last year, team. At the end of the year, I think the form was ridiculous, wasn't it, of the top teams? I think Wickham lost for the first time in the regular season for 15 games yesterday. The form that they had to go on to get into the play. MK Dons went on an unbelievable run. And then it was the side with the worst form at the end of the year, over 5 games, didn't get in over a 46-game season in Plymouth. So, huge game. MK Dons face Ipswich away from home at Portman Road. Tension builds. We spoke about that last week at Forest Green. Need to win this. If they win that, again, it's season defining because they've got the win at Portman Road. They've got the first win. They're on 7 points. And all of a sudden you go, let's get to 10 points. Let's get to 20 points, 30 points. Oh, we're all of a sudden at 50 points. We're about 30-odd points away. You're over halfway there. And it's going to be a step-by-step game for me. Ipswich, Lincoln Forest Green, mate. You're playing 2 promoted sides, which probably the worst time to play them because they're bouncing. And Forest Green have looked energetic and they've looked side probably deserving to be on more than 3 points so far with the performances.
Do you know what, Ben? I'm going to get you to predict this one, and I'll predict your game against Morecambe.
Oh, I'll go
2-0
Imps.
Yeah.
2-0 Imps. I'd also like to ask you, by the way, last week you promised me that Lincoln will be signing a certain Mr. Tyler Walker.
Yeah.
What's all that about, son?
Don't worry. It's his agent. He's been a bit of a prat. Don't worry. It will happen if anything's going to happen with Tyler. Ben, it will have to happen at the end of the window because Coventry will have no idea what they want to do with him. He's got a year left on his contract, right? He's got a year left. They loan him. The complications are endless, right? I think he comes to us on loan and then he comes here on a free. That's what I think will happen. That's what I've been told is happening. Whether it happens or not, I know we're interested in other strikers. I believe at the moment that it's all player and agent led. The club are exploring other targets, but Tyler Walker is one that is on the club's radar.
I'll be honest with you, right? I'm 20 yet, no, but 12. What annoys me about football, I cannot stand agents. I'm not being funny. If you're a football player in League One, right, and League Two, and you can't agree a fee what you want to be paid every week, and where you're going to live, come on, get a grip, do it yourself, get them out the game. That money could go elsewhere. Don't get me started.
Right,
I could go on all day about that.
I'm talking Fleetwood. Right. I'm doing
Seafood
this.
Derby. Now, bear in mind, this is one of the biggest games in the season in Fleetwood because last year, I just want to point out, a certain Mr. Cole Stockton scored from his own half, right? in the last minute of a Lancashire derby. If he didn't do that, Morecambe would go down on 40 points on goal difference and Fleetwood would be on 41 points. That is how big. I said at the time that goal keeps Morecambe in League One. And for once, I said an opinion that turned out to be all right. So, big game this. Morecambe back well at home. What are you thinking?
Biggest game in world football, isn't it? This seafood derby. Should we call it the Paella derby? Do you reckon that will...
Paella!
Exactly. Right. Look, Nappers, am I gonna sit on the fence? No, I'm not. I'm not gonna sit on the fence. Fleetwood for me. You guys have got to win. Morecambe, poor, aren't they? If you can keep Cole Stockton quiet for an afternoon, which the teams that Morecambe have played look to have done so. Shrewsbury did it. Peterborough, better than you lot, have done it, but Shrewsbury did it. So that's a bit of encouragement for you lot. Keep Cole Stockton quiet. I don't think they cause you any problems. And like you say, Fleetwood have got multiple good wingers at the minute in Kearnays and Paddy Lane. You've got Jed Garner coming off the bench and scoring. You go this promise on a Cherry fella. I don't know how he's got
3 months. Yeah,
he's injured for 3 months. Fantastic.
Yeah, we'll get on to our injury crisis in a minute. But I agree with that. I do agree with that.
Yeah,
but
you should have enough firepower to beat him.
I think they've got a certain winger called Ash Hunter as well, who, for me, looked Morecambe's best player in the last 2 games. He looked like he wanted to prove a point. Bear in mind, he played 200 times for Fleetwood and was really quick, really agile, and he can cause his crosses for Stockton at any given time. And I can just see in front of my eyes that he's going to do something. He is that type of player. Cherry's out, Bagley's out. We've got loads of injuries, and defensively at times they look questionable, and Stockton could bully us. Plymouth, Peterborough, 2 sides that should be challenging. Plymouth were poor on Saturday. Peterborough looking good. I fancy a goal fest. Not going to predict because we do that late in the week. Port Vale, Bolton though. Bolton got good memories at Port Vale. They won there a few years ago to really stamp their authority on getting out of League One. When they had, the David Wheaters, the Medines, the Lafondras, those types of players. Going to be a big game there. I'll let you discuss your favourite team, Sheffield Wednesday, Charlton.
Oh, brilliant.
2 good sides, 2 big football clubs. And you're looking at the list already, you think, relegation clash, promotion clash. There's so many good sides that we're getting these promotion clashes every week.
Yeah. Charlton, no, joking. Sheffield Wednesday for me, Ben. Yeah, they just lose a bit of class at the moment. The confidence they're going to get from the MK win will be massive. The only issue I can see is Charlton might go there to frustrate. And it's difficult because a lot of teams went to Hillsborough last year, didn't they, and frustrated Wednesday. So
you still got over 50 points at home, Barry.
Yeah, this is the sort of game where if they've overcome those issues of not beating the teams down the bottom of the league at home, this is going to be the test for them if they can put Charlton to bed. Charlton, no mean a mug, but Charlton might think a point at Hillsborough is not a bad point. So for me, Wednesday break Charlton down, sign the good things to come, and I think they'll go on and achieve automatics.
Agree. And you've got Wycombe and Shrewsbury now. 2 issues at Wycombe. I know Brown said that it's a wake-up call, and I probably agree with that. But I think they'll have enough to get over Shrewsbury side. Let's see. We are going to, I know we're on the hour, we're going to extend it by 10 minutes to have a live Q&A as well. But before we do that, I want to give this man some credit because since he's come on to the channel, he has been a breath of fresh air. We do give him a little bit of stick. We can't be nasty for much longer. He's on 585 subs now. There's 54 people in the chat. If you go down in the description, you'll see his channel link. Go and give him a sub. He produces some decent content. I'll be over there in 2 weeks when we play. On the road to 600. Describe your channel, Jake, for everyone that's listening down below.
Right, so Stacey West channel. It's based on a website that a guy called Gary Hutchinson set up. We have a blog, we have a podcast that goes out weekly. Gary and Ben do that. I'm in charge of the YouTube channel. So we do matchday previews. We do a new West End Imps review show. We've got all sorts going on. I've done I've just seen that in the chat, Ben. That's a bit strange, isn't it? The adult dating thing.
Oh, mate, I'm trying to get rid of it.
Maybe that's a hint for you, Nappers, and not me. But once I get to 600 subs, mate, they'll be pouring all over me. No, listen, we do some really good content. Really enjoy getting supporters of football clubs on there talking about the game. Literally a bit of all sorts, and coming on here just gets me a bit more exposure. Trying to reach 1,000 by the end of 2022, which I know is quite optimistic given the fact that it's August. But I think we could probably just about do it. So if you don't mind, come over, give me a subscribe, follow me on Twitter as well. I know he hadn't put that in the description, but Jake_Tom98. Come and give me a follow. Lots of EFL football debate, and that's my plug, Mappers. I haven't got it literally with me next week, but all good, all Gucci.
Perfect. And if you are new to this channel as well, we are closing on 10,000 subscribers like you wouldn't believe. So if you could subscribe down below, that'd mean a lot. Now we've got about 7 or 8 minutes. Get your questions in down below. Again, trying to get loads of questions in before we finish. Anything for me, Jake, about football, League One, your team as well. I remember me, the child supporter, we did beat you 2-0 and we won this season too. Yeah. I think people are starting to write us addicts off. Where you reckon we'll finish top 6 for me? I'm not writing you off. I just want to see more of you. I want to see more from you. I want to see more performances like the other day because I think you've got energy. Can you do that Saturday, Tuesday? I don't know. I reckon my prediction is you get over 65 points.
Keep stalling, Ben.
It reckons. I mean, how many points you do get?
Keep stalling for. I'm just trying to read my prediction.
Keep stalling. You, Jake's got his predictions. They'll be wrong. So just
12th, similar season to last year.
Well, I had them around there, and I think I had them about 10th, 11th, and they are going to be in and around the top 6. What you got to realise, this league at the moment is full of really good teams, and it could go either way. And there's normally a side that go on and do really well, better than expected. And you've got to bear that in mind in League One. There's so many good sides. You massively underachieved last year. You've improved. I just want to see more from you. Would it surprise me if you finish in the top 6? No. But would it surprise me if you finish out of it? No. I think there's 8 teams better than you. That's my issue. I think it all depends on how you go head-to-head with those top 8. If you beat most of them, you've got the points over them. So, big few weeks for them as well. Jack Diamond to Fleetwood loan. Lane to Stoke City, Cairns to Morecambe. I'm sorry, what? Cairns where? Mate, if that is true, right, I'll have a mental breakdown. Like, I don't, Paddy Lane, yeah, Stoke City, good luck to it, lad. But Cairns, come on, 7 years we've been together here. You can't leave me like this. This is worse than a breakup. Do you know what I mean?
You wouldn't know what that feels like. You wouldn't know what it feels like.
And Cole Stockton secretly gutted if he goes to Morecambe. I think who can I love this year? No, I love Cairns. He needs game time. It'd be an unbelievable time. If that's a real link, then please tell me where it's from. Jack Diamond, I really like. I remember seeing him in the playoff final for Harrogate, and he looked an absolute rocket. Like, ripped as anything, so strong on and off the ball, powerful, fast, agile. And he's got games under his belt. I think he scored 12 or 13 last year. For me, top sign. Sunderland says he wasn't up to scratch in League One. No, he wasn't up to scratch for Sunderland's standard in League One to win every game. That's their aim in League One, to win every game. Fleetwood's aim is to win 1 in 3 and get 50 points. That's the difference. If Scott Fraser and Charlie Kirk going, that's lethal in my opinion. Congrats on the win on Saturday. Cheers, Cam. All the best, mate. Where do you think the town will finish? Ipswich in the top 6. I've got a feeling it won't be in the top 2. I think it'll be. I predicted 4th at the start of the season, and you're going to play Peterborough and beat them in the playoff semi-final. But I think you'll go to Wembley this year. That's my prediction for Ipswich.
Keep going, Ben.
One word to sum up Bolton.
3rd, Ipswich. 3rd. Sorry, 3rd. Ipswich.
3rd. One word to sum up Bolton.
That says Burton. Says Burton.
Brilliant.
Burton.
We'll do Bolton.
Burton. Brilliant. One word for Burton.
Brilliant. Yeah.
Tragic.
One word to describe Bolton, though. Brilliant. One word to describe Burton.
Tragic.
Yeah, but in nicer words, basically, I'd probably go shambolic, really. I think people are writing the addicts off. We've come to that one before. Burton terrible so far. Evening, lads. Hello, Nat. Good to see you. Is it trying to prove a goal scorer? Well, will we? Ipswich, lads. You've got them! Marcus Avenue. Freddie Ladapo. See?
They had Joe Pigott. They had Joe Pigott as well, who's a proven goal scorer at this level. Exactly.
He didn't work there. But sometimes be careful how many you wish for, because look at the Joe Pigott situation. You know what I mean? I'd be happy if one of our strikers could just score more than 3 this year. Do you know what I mean? Like, surprised Jimmy hasn't already gone after the booze. I don't think he cares, mate. I think he's just in it for his name to stay in the game, really. I think as soon as an offer comes in, he's off. I think he thinks after the worst thing that could happen to you, that run that you went on under him. And I remember seeing him on Sky Week, and you were like, Jimmy King, the King's on TV. And we touched on this last year, didn't we? I remember talking about it. If he goes on Sky next week after they lose, imagine the hate you're going to get from the Burton board, the manager. That's the difference. When you're winning and losing, the things that you do as a player or a manager, you're either hated for it or you love for it, and that's the difference. Liverpool missed 3 open goals so far. He's 2 games in. Give him. He'll score you 15 goals a season for me. Peterborough's going to be very tough for us. Very tough game, but you're a good side as well. You've got to remember that. Hate Jimmy with a passion. Change how football can change. How are you, mate? Hope you're all right. Farini, again, you were favourable of him last year, weren't you?
Yeah, big fan of Lewis Fiorini. Happy that he's got his move up to the Championship. Got a lot of a stick off Lincoln fans last year, but he got taken out of the team by Appleton, and he brought him back in. I think it was maybe the Rotherham game, and he's just went on from there. And 3rd best player for Lincoln over the course of the season, probably even 2nd. I think he won Young Player of the Season. So when Michael Appleton got the Blackpool job, it was absolutely no surprise that Fiorini ended up at Bloomfield Road. But a player that is technically brilliant. You watch, if he lets one fly from outside the box, Ryan, it's going in the corner. It's going in the top corner. I don't know, Ben, if you saw any of the goals he scored last year. Wimbledon, it was an absolute peach. Cambridge, he scored an absolute peach. So, top player. Will he have a future at Man City? Probably not. Championship's about his level. But I can see Blackpool maybe signing him on a permanent contract at the end of the year.
And you've also got Patino, who looks a gem as well. Again, matter of time. Yeah, I do think it's a matter of time. Does it look good second about 2 games into a season? No, but in 6 games' time, are you going to be any better off? I don't think so. I don't see where your first points are coming from away. When do you play Fleetwood? September 12th. I'll tell you a story though. Fleetwood played Rochdale a few years ago, and Rochdale had about 2 or 3 points. I think they were bottom of the league or second bottom of the league. Fleetwood were doing well this season as well. They were in the playoffs around this time. They went to Rochdale. Rochdale beat Fleetwood 2-1. They went and won the next 10 home games after that. And then they went into the playoffs. So just play Fleetwood, and you'll normally do all right.
There's a question for me, Nap, as I've seen it. I've seen it.
Posh top 2. They've got the goals, though, haven't they? You know, the 2 sides that they played. I want to see them against bigger sides. Do you reckon that you will have a better season than last? I'll go first. Yeah. You can't have a worse season, 40 points.
Yeah.
Lincoln, I think we will as well. I think we've both improved. We've both got a new ethos, a new manager, and we're both a bit more spirited. What do you say?
No, agreed, mate. 2 new managers coming in. I think it will be a good season for both of us. Hopefully we finish above you, though. Just I don't want to wear a Fleetwood shirt.
There you are. You've been itching at that. There you go. Go away.
There we go. We're grandos. Depends where you play him, Jack, to be honest. Play him in a defensive midfield place. He's useless. He gives the ball away a lot. Play him in a more advanced number 8 position, you'll be absolutely fine. We got into the playoffs, probably one of the best centre midfielders in League One that season in terms of box entries, scoring really in pivotal goals. He's a bit of a leader as well. He's captained us a few times last year. disappointed he's gone to Charlton because that's not in Scotland, which is what he said he was doing. But do you know what? Will he get a warm reception from Central Bank? Probably not. Good player on his day, League One player at most. I don't think if we got up to the Championship, we probably would have offloaded him, if that makes sense.
Yeah, agree. When Jeff got scores one for Argyle, he'll go on a roll. You've seen it before. And that was the reason I felt I'd tagged you in last month. Oh, yeah, I saw it, mate. Yeah. Again, we're going to end it there. If you are new to the channel, please subscribe down below. We are closing on 10,000 subscribers, and we do shows every single week about League One. We have prediction videos, match day vlogs, reports on the ground. Me and Jake will be meeting up in a couple of weeks' time to, again, have a couple of drinks, watch the football, and one of us be depressed after or slightly in between as well. Jake, any final words, my friends?
No, mate, just good to be back talking about League One. I know it happens every week, but really enjoyed it. Really good crowd in tonight. So yeah, thanks for having me on again, mate. I think you'll be renewing my contract pretty soon, won't you? I'll be having a wage increase of all these super chats.
VK's 2 for a £5 instead of the 1.
Not in Lincoln, mate. Up the price a bit.
Dreading it. Come back to Trilogy. Worst place in the podcast. Again, thank you very much for watching, guys. Until next time, I will see you later. Smash a like as you do. Head out. Put notifications on. We'll have a Wigan vlog for you tomorrow. Wigan have scored. I said we would. Until next time, I will see you later. Up those cards.
Up the imps.
Thanks for watching, guys.